photo of Modi and put it there. So this is one example, very recent example, which I can say about this. And, it became a big issue. The owner of the newspaper had to go personally to apologize to the Prime Minister of India for this. Friends, we have a great meeting lined up today, and we have our first speaker. Eric Kaila is not yet in, but we have an amazing person who has joined as our general evaluator today. He is from India, a person who has gone through a lot in life and has decided to choose to be unstoppable. As he introduced, he's a rebound coach, TED speaker, author, inspirational speaker, and corporate trainer. He strongly believes in challenging one's limits rather than limited by challenges. By his personal story, life took a completely different turn when he was about to leave for the United States after passing his post-graduation from the most prestigious institute in India, Indian Institute of Technology, Mumbai. On a fateful day in 1994, he had a fall from a height, accidentally due to a high fever. And since then, he has been confined to a wheelchair. He had to be hospitalized for 2 years and was operated almost 17 times. As Helen Keller says, life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Friends, his story is that, but he bounced back very strongly after 2 years of his harrowing stay in hospital, and with very strong willpower, determined with a can-do attitude. He took up a job in an MNC and worked for many years. And after 12 years, he decided that he will not depend on someone for living. Currently, he coaches and inspires people to bounce back in their life, irrespective of their situation, create happy, successful, and prosperous life. He lives with his adopted son. He's a single father. His adopted son is now 21, 22 years, and is currently working as well. As he mentioned, he authored a very highly successful book, which is selling like hotcakes in Amazon. Sorry. The title of the book is I Choose to Be Unstoppable. Friends, please help me welcome with a thunderous round of applause our general evaluator for this afternoon, evening, Toastmaster Niranjan Nirlike.
Thank you very much, Manoj, for such a wonderful introduction, and I'm very much honored to be in front of all of you. And it's always, they say there is a purpose behind everything. So I believe do your best and leave it to the rest. So I think me being here is also, there is a reason. So I consider it as an honor to be in front of you. So as a role assigned to me, the general evaluator, I will take an assistance of a timer who will assist me in keeping the time of all the events that's going to happen. So in general, I will evaluate the quality of the whole meeting, and also to evaluate the prepared speeches. I will take the help of evaluators. So thank you. So over to you.
Thank you, Niranjan. Thank you so much. And our timer is our very own Toastmaster Shalina. And we have one speech schedule and table topics, and followed by general evaluation and the center stage. Our speaker is held up and he will soon join. Meanwhile, we'll go to the first session. That is our table topics. And he's an amazing person at Toastmasters, we all know. He's a word of inspiration for those who have come across him. He was a top-level gymnast, as you know, most of us know, and he represented South Africa, his country, at the junior level. But while he was 16 years, while he was training, he had an accident, and since then, he has been confined, paralyzed from neck down. But as we have our guest, Niranjan, this is another person who bounced back, who said yes to life, come what may. You know, I'm there. And he is always in full spirits, and he's always ready to take any roles. Friends, he's currently the president of Atlantic Toastmasters Club, South Africa, Cape Town. He has been an area director the last term, and he did his best in the evaluation contest recently and came second at the division level. Friends, please put your hands together to welcome the table topic master of this meeting, Toastmaster Will Scott.
Thank you so much, Manoj. As always, a very edifying introduction. I'm not entirely sure I deserve it, but thank you nonetheless. Of course, always make a concerted effort. It is innate to my nature to want to never be confined to anything. But yes, moving on swiftly, of course. Table topics today. I thought to myself, I have had a request from at least one of you to say keep it simple, keep it easy, which I'm going to try my best to live up to that promise. But folks, do we have any volunteers for who goes first? And then obviously I will then nominate an evaluator for that person. Is there anyone who's going to put their hands up? Or am I going to just...
This is Ravi.
Ravindran, thank you so much for that. All right, so I'm going to then ask, let's see.
We need an evaluator, right?
I need an evaluator. Pradeep, could I ask you to be Ravindran's evaluator for this one? So reminding everyone that the table topic is 1 to 2 minutes. And of course, then the evaluation is 1 minute after that. So, Ravindran. Let's see now. Why do you think someone struggles with low self-esteem? Let me repeat the question. Ravindran, why do you think someone struggles with low self-esteem? Over to you.
Thank you very much, Table Topic Master. The topic being, why do some people struggle with low self-esteem? We all may have a multitude of responses to it, but our personality is shaped by both intrinsic and extrinsic factors. Whether the environment or otherwise. More often than not, we are a creature of the environment. The environment sort of molds and shapes us into what we become. Of course, the DNA part is set. Even twins having the same DNA in 2 different environments have known to come up with 2 different personalities. So what we can attribute is the environment shaped him so. Now, it's an unfortunate part of life that life is not a bed of roses for everybody. We get whacked almost at every turn. for some of us, for most of us, that's the way I see, because I have been a victim where I actually found it very difficult to come to grips with so many things. I won't blame anybody, please. I believe very much in the law of karma, so that's what I'm destined to be. So, but now, over a period of time, honest to goodness, thanks to things like Toastmasters and several other positive environments in which I mixed with over the years, I've come up to be slightly more confident, if not at least confident. The fact that I volunteered to speak table topics first off will testify is a manifestation of that confidence that I've developed. So, end of the day, in short, I would put it on the environment that affects one's self-esteem. So mix with positive people, like, for example, Toastmasters. Thank you, and back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ravindran. Could I then ask Toastmaster Pradeep if you could give us his evaluation?
Thank you, DTM Wellscott, fellow Toastmasters, and DTM Ravindran in particular. First of all, I love the topic. It is such, it's a favorite topic of mine. And I love the question. And I think the way DTM Ravindran handled it was fantastic. I like all the insights you brought in, so many areas you touched upon. You said about it's about we are shaped by our intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, and we are creators of our environment. I also liked about, I'm talking a lot about content because there's so much of content in the speech. You spoke about how different DNAs come, you have the same DNA, but you can still have a different perspective to life. So overall, I thought your speech was rich in content and a lot of points which you brought in. I may, a very small suggestion was that somewhere where you were bringing up these things, you were not, the connection to self-esteem was not coming across during your speech. Nevertheless, I thought in the end, you brought it up by talking of confidence and then saying that, there is a reason why each one of us has different confidence level. So I thought all that great insight you brought in, you could have pushed it in a little more deeper to say, why exactly is that thing, in spite of all these things, what really happens? But I think in the short, such a short duration, it's probably so difficult to bring that up. So overall, the insights were great. And that's a small area which I thought was in scope for improvement. Thank you very much for this wonderful take on this topic. And back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Pradeep. Right, folks, who is going to be next? Do we have any more volunteers? Or am I going to choose the next one?
What about Alfin?
Yes, Toastmaster Alfin. Would you be up for a table topic?
Okay.
Right. Toastmaster Alfin. Do you think...
Evaluator. We need an evaluator.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. All right. I'm getting used to this. Okay, so to evaluate you, could I ask you then, Toastmaster Niranjan?
I'll take it. Mirinda. Mirinda?
Is that all right?
So am I going to be the evaluator or Mirinda?
Evaluator for Alfin.
Excuse me, is it Mirinda or Niranjan?
Miranda or Niranjan? I thought she said my name.
I think,
Our GE, Toastmaster Niranjan.
Oh,
Oh, Niranjan. It sounds like my brother. Okay, sorry.
I beg your pardon for the confusion. All right.
That's okay.
Toastmaster Alfin, your question is this. Do you think intelligence is fixed? Or can anyone become smarter with desire? Let me repeat the question. Do you think intelligence is fixed, or can anyone become smarter with desire? Over to you, Toastmaster Alfred.
Intelligence is not fixed. That is our blessing as a human. We are living in the AI world where you can see robots become smarter, but can they more smarter over time? It should be because of we, the human. Compared to a robot only have fixed intelligence that can only increase by human. And meanwhile, us as a human, we can always continue growing and be more intelligent. That is our blessings indeed. And how to do it? Of course, to put enough desire to it. The ways to do it is by learning, reading more books, attending more webinars or seminars like this, or doing networking. You will get more knowledge over and over. You will conquer or knowing more ways to do. Like, for example, me, now I serve as club president in my club. I was lack of leadership. I changed my mind very fast, quickly. Now, because I learn from book, I read more books, I visit more Toastmaster clubs, I see how they solve a problem and make decision. And that's now I become more confident in leadership, and I can't wait to share to everyone I met outside of Toastmaster, also in other club in Toastmaster, how I learn. So my friends, intelligence is not fixed. You can always grow. Read more books, ask your friends, attend webinars. You will increase your intelligence if only you believe. Thank you. Back to you, Will Scott.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alfred. If I can then ask your evaluator to give us his take on what you had to say. Toastmaster Niranjan.
Yeah, Alfin, I think you started quite well about saying that intelligence is not fixed. And you explained also any person can improve his intelligence through learning. I think that thing came out quite well. And you also shared your own experience. That's important. How is you can talk about intelligence hours and hours, but sharing an experience brings a lot of difference, how it has impacted in your own personal life. So that itself will show that how a person can become intelligent with exposure to various ways of learning. You also brought out various means of learning. And I think it was quite precise to the point. I think one thing to mention that Will Scott said about smarter part also. I think that is where I think I don't know. You could have touched a little bit more on that. Can anyone also can become smarter? So that could have completed the whole topic. Otherwise, I really enjoyed your talk.
Thank you, Niranjan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Niranjan. Okay, let's see who will be next. Miranda, you said something earlier, so I think maybe I'm going to hand this to you if that's all right.
Can I just turn it around? We have quite a few guests here. You can make me evaluate, or yeah, one way or the other.
Certainly, all right.
That's
Certainly,
true.
no problem. All right, can I then have a guest? Let's see. We have a new guest that only arrived recently. Perhaps I can ask you, Toastmaster Hari Prasad.
Yay!
Yeah, good afternoon. What is that you want me to speak?
Would you be prepared to do a table topic?
Sorry, identify his evaluator first, please.
That would be Miranda.
Okay, thank you.
I thought it was Hari Prasad. Is he going to give a
Table topic.
table topics? Can we see the face? Can you turn on your video? Oh, there you are. Very good.
Welcome.
Good. You must be somebody's friend here.
Yeah, I just joined because of Pradeep Kumar ATM.
What?
So Toastmaster Hari Prasad, what role do you think sports plays in culture? Let me repeat that question. What role do you think sports plays in culture? Toastmaster Hari Prasad, over to you.
Yeah, thanks for giving me this topic. And it's a bit difficult difficult topic, kind of, because culture and sports, I think maybe two different angles nowadays, because we are in an information technology era. And for example, sports like running or short puts or discus throw or relay, it may not really suit the culture of today's, because today we are in an information era where we may not, ideally we may not require all those things. Once upon a time, yes, when like 2-3 centuries ago, the fastest runner would be sought after by the king, maybe for to deliver as a messenger or somebody, or a person who throws discus or shot put may be required where there was no bridges or all those things. Whereas in today's era and today's requirement may be entirely different than a requirement for sports or games. That is what my opinion is. And how long I can speak?
2 minutes max. When you see the light, the background turns red, then
Yeah.
that's when you stop.
Yeah, okay, I'll continue. So see, even nowadays we can see, even at least in our country, we can see that the sports persons who won the gold medal or any other things are really struggling to carry on their life. So in my opinion, and in today's context, maybe sports and culture are two different angles. And as far as culture is concerned, sports may not add any value. Culture is something that we have to imbibe within us only to ensure that we are not damaging the society, we are not damaging the environment that we are living in. The environment, sports, I don't think has nothing to do with these current cultural demands. And I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. It's all of a sudden and a kind of a difficult topic to speak often. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hari Prasad. Could I then ask you, Miranda, to give us your take on what he had to say? Over to you,
Yes.
Toastmaster Miranda.
So are we spotlighted? Yeah. So guess, I suppose this is guess. You're not a Toastmaster yet, right? You're not a Toastmaster.
I'm not a Toastmaster. I'm just
Okay. Yes. Now we understand the confusion, because we are all Toastmasters, and usually trainers and coaches are with Toastmasters and not with guests. So we have a like a time regulation that everybody knows. All right. So without knowing that, I thought you did excellent. You came unprepared and probably even shocked how you are suddenly called, but you raised to the occasion. You spoke, and you spoke in a very well-structured speech. You start with your opinion that sports and culture, these are actually difficult topics to mingle. And then you explain why. And you give some examples, and then you're also very clear why they're not like, I guess, like oil and water. And you give your explanation and examples very clearly so that we understand where you're coming from. And then you also closed with very clear conclusion after you explained the reason of your opinion and then the example, and then you said why they cannot be together. So I thought that was a very good speech. It's something that we Toastmasters strive for. And I thought if you were Toastmasters, you already filled all the points, meet all the criteria for the short speech, the impromptu speech. And this is meant to be impromptu anyway. So anybody that's being asked to speak, they're not prepared. So you've passed with flying colors. I enjoyed your speech, and I think we all also have a new perspective about culture and sports. So thank you, guest Hari Prasad, and I hope that you would learn more about Toastmasters as we go through the meeting. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Table Topics Master, Will.
Thank you so much, Miranda, for that. Yes, no, I can only echo those sentiments. Right. Okay, who are we going to get next? ET. You'll have to just tell us what ET I think stands for, but if I can call on you perhaps.
Maybe not around.
No, I don't think so. Okay, let's try another one. David He. Can I call on you perhaps?
Can I decline?
You may certainly, that is your right, of course. You don't force anyone to speak. Okay, then I think next I'm going to then ask you, Toastmaster Pradeep, to speak. And I'm going to ask you, Toastmaster Manoj, to be his evaluator, if you would. So Toastmaster Pradeep.
Yes, sir.
If you were president for a day, what would be your first action to the country? Let me repeat the question. If you were president for a day, what would be your first action to the country? Toastmaster Pradeep.
To the country.
Which country?
Well, any country.
Which country?
Thank you, DTM Will Scott, for raising my level to the highest level in any country. And I belong to a country where the president actually is the super controller of the armed forces, but the president doesn't have too much of power in this country. They've got a very nice big house and would enjoy the day. As a president for a day, as a president in India, it's difficult to do many things. And for a day, I think you can just do nothing. So I would just be thinking on that day and talking to everybody and giving some good advice on what they may want to do going forward. Because on one day, if I try to do something, it's going to be a real mess. I'm going to talk to the people, I'm going to talk to the Prime Minister and say, hey, what I think about the country, what things are doing well and what are not so good. I may not be able to explain that here because we try to restrict ourselves in Toastmasters talking of politics, because then I may be sort of going more towards a political angle and speaking against or for a particular political party. But I would still give my opinion to the Prime Minister and say, hey, you know what? Going forward, this is what you should be doing. And this is what you're doing good. And I will do it in a typical Toastmasters style. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pradeep, yes. I'm personally, I might have just announced a holiday, but I see you're far more proactive than I am. Over to you then, Toastmaster Manoj, to let us know what you thought of what he had to say.
Thank you, Will. It's very difficult to evaluate a president, but nevertheless, as you said, in India, it's rather a powerless position. We always say it's a stamp paper. That's it. Other than that, yes, as you said, you get a wonderful house. I like the way you started, Pradeep, and you were absolutely at ease with the topic, and you were very realistic about it. If it's in India, probably a president can't do anything. Even one day, sometimes even one term. So well taken, and you added a lot of value in the topics by saying that you will call the team and discuss what we need to do. Perhaps on one day you need to take certain decisions. And like the way you said that you will discuss with the leader, the real leader in the country's prime minister, the prime minister, you may put in some suggestions and let us see what best. You handled it so diplomatically, and you also said that you would handle in the Toastmaster way. And I have no areas for maybe improvement, but you could have also said something which could be, which added some execution possibility as a president, maybe, to propose something which you felt. You said that you will tell the PM certain things, but if one topmost priority, if you had mentioned, it would have really added a lot of value. Thank you so much, but you nailed the topic and we had a lot of fun. Thank you. Back to you, David.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manoj. As always, very insightful. I think I am next going to ask one of the ladies to give us a table topic. Shalina asked me to be very kind to her today, so I'm going to ask you then, Shalina, to take this one. And I will ask, sorry, Miranda, you are on mute.
I'll be the timer.
All right, no, great,
Just a sec.
fantastic. Thank you so much.
Let me get ready.
Who can
Right.
I ask then to be your evaluator? Could I perhaps ask you to be the evaluator, Toastmaster Alfred?
Oh, okay.
So, Shalina, I promised I'd be nice to you, and I'm going to keep my promise. So, Shalina, tell me, can people who disagree on politics be married? I will repeat the question. Can people who disagree on politics be married? Over to you, Toastmaster Shalina.
In my personal opinion, yes. What is politics? Politics is everything, but not much of the truth. What is disagreement? It's just different opinions or conflicts of opinions. I don't like politics, neither my husband. But when we talk, he can go around with the politics things around this whole conversation. And I will be on the other side say, no, I do not agree with you. Then he will provide some more information, even with some statistic, with some link, with some studies. I still say, yeah, but still, I do not agree. So for example, we have a very different opinions around this COVID situation. Now the matter have already subsided, no longer a problem, an issue, global issue. At that time, he was talking so much about it. The reports, the studies, the benefit, etc., etc. And for me, I would say, no, I don't agree, I must. And I don't agree, I mustn't, because I have a choice. So you would say so many people actually having got protection, etc., etc. And that's just one example. And the other example is about what's happening currently with the global situation, the landscape. As you know, I live in Europe, and we have different opinions around how the government should run it, how the government shouldn't do it. And these are all politics. And as I just mentioned, he has his point, say, yeah, this is good. The government could do this, this, this. And I say, no, I do not agree. The government should not be supporting this. No, I do not agree. But at the end of the day, we have a kind of heated disagreement. At the end of the day, we still go to the room. We still lie on the same bed and we still chat the next morning. So we have different views, but we're still very much in love. So politics and disagreement still can make a very good couple. Back to you, Table Topic Masters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shalina. Yes, no, you give me hope. So I'm going to then hand over to Toastmaster Alvin and ask him to tell us what he thought of what you had to say. Toastmaster Alvin, over to you.
Yeah, I get the point from Toastmaster Shalina that we can just disagree with another person because some several reason. That's a key message from Toastmaster Shalina as she bring her personal story for us so we can see the picture clearer. Oh, that is the example. That is the personal story that she experienced. And I also like the first word from Toastmaster Shalina is yes. Okay. Since then, I can follow the story, I can follow the speech easier because I know where Toastmaster Shalina stands. That is the very important thing I learned. And what need to improve from Toastmaster Shalina is I see several examples in the, I see 2 examples in the speech. I feel I feel my focus become less because there are more than one example. What if it just only one example? So we can more focus, we can elaborate more with that example. So we can be more sharp to how to apply the idea. Thank you, back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Alvin. Right, we've got our Toastmaster E.T. Elias. Is that, I think I'm correct in saying your name is Elias, Toastmaster Elias?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, would you take our next table topic?
Sure.
Right, I would then ask, who hasn't evaluated yet?
Ravi,
Sorry, say again, Manoj?
Ravindra, can you evaluate?
Ravindran, could I ask you then, Toastmaster Ravindran, to evaluate
Sure, pleasure.
Toastmaster Elias?
Sure.
Thank you. All right, Toastmaster Elias. Which subject do you wish you were taught in school? Let me repeat the question. Which subject do you wish you were taught in school? Over to you, Toastmaster Elias.
Am I audible and visible? Can you hear me and see me?
Yep.
Yes. What is word of the day?
Innate.
Innate.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, welcome to ET class. And I will tell you about AI. Wow. I wish I have learned AI in my school when I was still young, because this AI or artificial intelligence can help us so much more in our life. Can you imagine if you want to write a love letter to your loved one? You can just use this AI. You don't need to think too hard to make a new girlfriend out of this love letter, right? And yes, AI is not only about writing. Now we can
have the video editing, video presentation, even content creating based on AI. Can you imagine? So much fun when we were in school and we learn AI. I do believe that the teacher, it seems they will willing to teach the students about this subject, and also the students will enjoy their materials very well. Because of what? This AI is game changing. This AI can help so much people. Like they can help to make their homework, to research, and they can help also to have a good pointers about what to do. For example, if you want to put a concept, please help me to concept this party, and this AI will help you to have a lot of ideas. Can you imagine, like you are brainstorming with the AI, and this AI will suggest you based on your prompt. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, I wish my teacher was an AI. Oh no, I wish I was taught an AI in my student lifetime. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Elias. Right, I will then hand over then to you, Toastmaster Ravindran, to let us know what you thought of what Toastmaster Elias had to say to us.
Thank you very much, Will, for the privilege to evaluate the table topics presented by Elias. The topic being what you wished were taught in school. Well, as far as delivery is concerned, absolutely no issues. Elias is a proficient speaker. He can carry his message across with vocal variety, pauses, tone, strength, and all. That's a given, all right? So I won't spend too much time there, given I only have 1 minute. But I'm not convinced with the contents, simply because I may be ignorant, but I believe AI only became sort of the way it is now, commercially available to the masses, sort of the past 5 years, and maybe even nearer. If you are taught in school, I would imagine at our age, it should be some 2 or 3 decades back. At that time, AI was not available as it is now. So I'm not convinced on the content part. Delivery part, kudos to you. Thank you, and back to you, Will Scott.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ravindran. Right. I think Toastmaster Niranjan, you haven't yet spoken. Could I ask you perhaps to take the next table topic?
Yeah, sure. Let me try. Give it a try.
And then I will ask you again, Toastmaster Elias, if you could have perhaps then just evaluate Toastmaster Niranjan. Right. Toastmaster Niranjan. How important is travel to speeding up maturation in a person? Let me repeat the question.
Yeah, please repeat the question. How important?
How important is travel to speeding up maturation in a person?
What? Speeding up what?
Maturation, that is maturity.
Oh,
Correct.
okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Trouble always, it all depends upon how one view the troubles. So if you view the trouble as trouble, it will be a trouble.
No, it is travel. Travel is not trouble.
Travel, is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I can
How
repeat
the travel helps you, a person in maturing.
Okay. Oh, got it. Thank you. Sorry. I think I didn't understand the topic properly. So traveling is definitely, it's a very beautiful way of expanding your knowledge and expanding your learning and experience. So because the maturity always happens in only when you get exposed to multiple things. So according to me, when you travel, you just not only you're physically traveling, but you are get to learn the type of culture, and from the culture and the kind of profession the people are following, and that probably you can think if it is possible that you can think of applying in your life or in your community. Okay, so and also you get to see the different kind of people when you travel. So otherwise you would have been limited to your own kind of people where you have not seen other kind of people. But when you travel, when you see different type of people, they have their different way of living, different way of leading their life, and for succeeding in their own life. So that will also help you to bring a maturity in you. And once you start getting this maturity, you can also add value to others by sharing this your own experience in the form of either mentoring or coaching people. Okay, so I think that is what I feel that comes to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Niranjan. Could I ask your evaluator then to give us his take on what you had to say? Toastmaster Elias, over to you.
Hello?
Hi, yes.
Hello? Okay, yeah. Sorry, I cannot really focus on because I'm outside. So I can comment on the sorry. About the spotlighting here, because the one that spotlighted here is me and with TM Rafi, not TM Niranjan. So I cannot really focus on his vocal variety and the content itself. So pardon me. And yes, I think I cannot have much justice to give a best information to you. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Elias. Okay. Well, that's a shame. All right. Right. By my count, folks, I've got 2 left. Have we still good for time, yeah?
We have time. We have time for another
Yeah.
2
So
topics
I'm then gonna call on you next, Manoj, to be
Okay.
our speaker. And Miranda, if you could perhaps just reprise your role as our timekeeper, I'm going to ask
Will do.
Shalina to be your evaluator.
Can.
That's all right.
Yep. Hold on. Let me set up the time. Ready. Okay.
All right. Toastmaster Manoj. Do you think it would be a good thing or a bad thing if people could remember their dreams? Let me say that again. Do you think it would be a good thing or a bad thing if people could remember their dreams?
Wonderful
Over to
topic. Wonderful topic. Will, I think it depends on person to person, whether it is good to remember or it's not good to remember. For me, we all have matured to a certain level that we can understand, we can balance it. But in general, if you ask me this question, for the majority, it's not a good thing to remember. Nature always is perfect. That is why certain things, nature has done it in the right way that we can't remember most of our dreams. As soon as we get up, that's why sometimes in our tradition, it is said that the early morning dreams can come true. Why? Because you remember that more than any other dreams. So that is how people attach to it. Because the moment they start believing or remembering their dreams, sometimes they believe that it's going to come true. Recently, very recently, I mean, just a week back, my wife, when I was awake, my wife was sitting awake and she was very dull. And I knew she had a nightmare. So she said, yes, I had a very bad dream. What happened? She dreamt that in our native, many trees, someone was cutting off all the trees. In my native home, nobody is staying there because my parents are no more, some caretakers are there. So she was naturally scared. Couple of days later, there was a huge storm. It happened last Wednesday, today is Thursday, right? So it happened 1 week before. That is on 5th of April. It was a huge storm, never happened in my lifetime or even this generation. And some 15 trees got uprooted. We had some damage to the house as well, not major, but very minor. But incidentally, it came true. And, we had to cut off all the trees. We had to call people and cut it off and, partly sell it, partly dispose to clean up the premises. Yes, I believe that some dreams can come true for some people. And, sometimes it is always good that, you don't remember most of your dreams. Thank you. Back to you, Will.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manoj. Wow, yes. There is a conversation we can certainly continue over a beer or two. All right, I'm going to hand over then to your evaluator to let us know what you thought of that discussion. Over to you, Toastmaster Shalina.
Thank you. Manoj, what an engaging, interesting sharing. I like the way you organize your speech with the opening and you actually put in a neutral ground. Then you follow by the body, give example of the dream of your wife. And then you conclude it with a very interesting conclusion. Yes, dream could come true. And at the same time, then the question is it good to remember a dream? So that's a little bit of twist at the end. The other thing is that I love your smile because today you do a table topic with a great smile on your face, and that just enhance how you present the example of your wife dream, actually how you elucidate the kind of the curiosity in your mind. You thought she was just kind of talking something that is out of the norm, and yet it really happened. So it's very interesting for me, and it's quite engaging. And overall, I think today I really enjoyed the way you delivered your content. At the same time, your smile, which I almost forgotten that I'm an evaluator. So thank you very much. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shalina. Right, at the risk of being a little unorthodox, Toastmaster Miranda, I've got a question for you. And I'm going to then nominate myself to be your evaluator.
Oh, okay.
So, your question, Toastmaster Miranda. Should meditation be a mandatory practice for entrepreneurs? Let me repeat that. Should meditation be a mandatory practice for entrepreneurs? Over to you.
My answer is that meditation is a resounding must to everybody, and that includes entrepreneurs. Let me tell you why. Meditation is, at the core of it, is to quiet your mind. And quieting your mind is the most important element, tool even, that we have within ourselves to help our life become easier and simpler. And what I mean by that is, when we're busy with our mind, we're thinking and thinking and thinking, and I think most of us have experienced overthinking. And you know, when you're overthinking, it's all muddled, it's not clear, and you don't get any solution. So the quickest way to get out of overthinking is being quiet. And of course, like a train that goes 500 kilometers one way, that is overthinking, and you're trying to stop it, it's almost impossible. Meditation is a bridge that you can use for that. So meditation, basically, the easiest way, and there's nothing fancy to it, just observe your breath so that your mind focus goes to something else, your breath, which is the most wonderful thing in the world, which is the essence of life. And for that much time, when you're focusing on your breath, when that means you're meditating, you're not thinking, you're not overthinking. And it just allows the train to come a little bit slower. And when you train comes a little bit slower, you're not as heated in your overthinking, then it opens you up for more space in the head, ability to see things, and an ability to receive inspiration from the divine or whatever you call it. And that is a one incident. But meditation, when you do it regularly, it helps you become aware of when you're overthinking and when you have to stop, and then slows down and turn around. So yes, definitely, I would say meditation is imperative, not only for entrepreneurs, but for everyone. So back to you, Will.
Thank you, Toastmaster Miranda. Right, so let me dive right in then with my take on your very interesting message. I like your confidence. It is something which comes shining through from virtually the first word you utter. You definitely set yourself up then as an authority, and you highlight this with your content. You speak in very specific, a matter-of-fact kind of a way, whereby you clearly know what you're talking about. It's something that I would imagine you are familiar with. And for me, then, that adds value. It gives me then a very clear picture in terms of why someone would meditate, what benefits it would have, and what the expectation of an outcome could be. In terms of the actual question that was put to you, it was specific to entrepreneurs, and perhaps I would have wanted you to flesh out a little bit what benefits it might hold for an entrepreneur in particular. But otherwise, I can't really fault you. I think that you gave a very erudite and eloquent table topic, and for that, I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Will. I wish you would have asked me that question. What are the benefits if they do? I would love to say something about that. Yeah, thank you. That was fun.
All right. Have I gotten to everybody? We've gotten a few more.
Yeah, I think
joined.
good enough. Will, I think now time we will move
Yes.
on.
All right. Well, then that's my job done. So back to you, Table Topics Master. Rather Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Will. What a session! Amazing topics. Starting with, why do you think someone struggles with low self-esteem, and ending with, should meditating be a mandatory practice to entrepreneurs? Excellent. And we all enjoyed, you all spoke, and we all could actually take home a lot of messages from the speakers. Thank you, friends, for the participation and for the feedback. And well, let's now move on to the next session. That is general evaluation. We have our guest as a general evaluator. Let's put our hands to welcome Toastmaster Niranjan Nerlige, our general evaluator for general evaluation session.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll start with first Mirinda Rumi, SIA. So Mirinda, I think,
SIA as well as president.
as well as president. Yeah, so you started quite well. The way you explained the objective of the whole club. So that is very important because multiple Toastmaster clubs are there, but this is being specific to trainers and coaches club. So you immediately brought that focus. What is the purpose of this club? So that I really liked it, and also especially inviting and welcoming the guest is very important because they are not very much aware of how the Toastmaster meetings happen. And you introduce them, you ask them, and you welcome them. So I really liked it. And coming to the role as a president, definitely there is. I think you have completely scored 10% by playing all your using your skills of communication by telling each and everyone what exactly to be done and how this club plays an important role. And I think overall, I think I'm highly, I appreciate the way you performed your role. And wish you all the best and do much more. Coming to next Toastmaster of the day, Manoj. So Manoj, as usual, you're always very calm and very fluent speaker, and your calmness itself brings great attraction to many. So I think that is something which I really liked it, and the flow in which you went and you introduced each and everyone, and without even talking too much, we were very quite brief, very brief to the point. That's very important considering the time management. Okay, so that way I think you have played all your executive responsibilities quite well, and I really appreciate and congratulate you on that. Okay, and then finally coming to the table topics master, Will, right? Will Scott. Will
Correct.
Scott, I think the excellent table topic session, and the kind of variety of topics was too good. So started with self-esteem, that is from personal development, and also going with meditation, spirituality. But I think most of all your topics touched most of the important areas, and it was the way you moderated and the way you select the topic and conduct the whole session itself was very good, and I don't have any improvements to suggest at all in this. Overall, I think all of you have played a very excellent role. So I think we didn't have any prepared speeches. And is there anything left from my side, Manoj?
Timer report, normally she has already, can just call
Yeah,
the
so
timer.
I will ask timer Shirlina. So you can just tell how everyone did on their time.
Yes, Miranda, do you have mine? And yep. Okay. Do you have Manoj? Okay. Okay, I'm just about to post it in the group chat. Thank you.
You've already posted, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to post to everyone. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you can see.
Cool.
Yeah, I think So especially table topics, I think we had a 2 minutes time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So people who had exceeded 2 minutes and who did quite less than 2 minutes can take that as an area of improvement and take your to see how best you can take your speech to the next level and manage your time.
Yeah, the president for one day.
Over to you, Toastmaster Manoj. So I think I'm done.
Thank you so much, Niranjan. I think both of us had a little less workload today because of the
True, correct. Because of less,
our
we didn't
speaker
have any.
got both the speakers got held up today, and it happens. But we had a wonderful table topic session, and we actually missed the knowledge sharing session. And if I have to share some knowledge, which very briefly, I will share one knowledge which I've learned in a hard way, I would say, because I started as an entrepreneur after many years of, almost close to 25 years of corporate experience. And when I started, you naturally start as a fresher, and certain things you take things for granted because you always feel that for putting systems in place, we have time. We will do it as we go on. One area I compromised was finance and accounts because basically I'm a marketing person. I have outsourced finance and accounts completely to a chartered accounting firm. And I did not have an accounts person in-house. And things were going on well. But last year, we had some, that is what the theme, it's very relevant. Measure 7 times. It's very important. You need to really cross-check each and every area of your function as an entrepreneur. Actually, I have learned that we need to not only have a finance and account system, we also have an audit. We also should have an audit system. That's what I have learned, to cross-check for any mistakes the accounting people make. Because we are all humans, people can make errors. Even one purchase invoice of high value missing or failing to account, that can lead to tax implications, which happened to me. And it's a great learning, but at a high price. It's always important that as corporate, as leaders, or even as coaches, you should always tell your clients that keep a proper system in place, particularly for the statutory aspects, where some of the startup entrepreneurs miss that. We take things for granted. We think that we can save some in certain areas. Why do you need to have at such an early stage? But no stage is too early. And I believe that earlier is the better. We need to have good systems. Sometimes what happens is that whatever we do, we should do, even if it's in a small way, like a professional company. So that is a lesson I have learned, friends, which I want to share. And, it's very relevant because it is my experience. That day, my friend Pradeep knows about it. In fact, that one day I got the experience of maybe 10 years. So these are some of the things, we keep sharing from mutually, we keep learning. And with that, I think we will take a well-deserved break before we start the next session, a short bio break before we start the center stage session, or we can chit chat.
And take picture.
Yes, absolutely. It's time for a picture. Please, all of you, we have one guest, Vel Kumar. Warm welcome, Vel Kumar. Are you a Toastmaster?
No, I'm not.
No, okay, nice.
Yeah. So
You're from
I have
India?
a common friend. I am from India, Bangalore.
Okay.
I know Pradeep, so I saw his LinkedIn posting, so I got interested to listen to him. So yeah, I'm not alien to Toastmaster. I've been with Juniper, Cisco, all that. We had Toastmaster clubs, but I never had an as usual, excuse of not having time. But yeah, like I've been an entrepreneur for the last 6-7 months after completing my full-time job. So yeah, I'm just exploring options to be engaged and learn and grow. Yeah. Thank you.
Good, good, sir. Nice knowing that, and all the best to you in your next phase of journey.
One more guest is coming.
Yeah, we have Shanti. Hi, Shanti. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Pradeep. I just saw your message, so I'm calling you. I'm traveling.
Oh, okay. So I think there are about 3 of my friends, Shanti, Velkumar, Hari Prasad.
Hari Prasad is also based out of Bangalore.
All are from Bangalore, yeah.
Thanks for joining, Hari.
See you guys later.
Can we take a picture before we start?
Yeah, can we take a picture? Will cannot come to the camera, he said, so it's okay. David also cannot come on camera today.
Yep, I'll take a picture.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, everybody get ready. I'm going to say.
Ravi sir, you are to. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, David, Will, if you want to show, and Shanti. Very nice.
She has come.
Thank
Yes.
you, Shanti. So, all right. Okay, by the time I say 3, if you don't show up, then we'll take a picture, okay? 1, 2. All right, your smile. 3.
Okay.
One more time, just in case somebody's eyes were closed.
Not my step.
It always happens.
My eyes are always closed.
Open it up, look up, Pradeep. Look into the camera. Okay, now 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, I think we got it.
That's good.
Thank you. Proceed.
So we have
Are you taking a break, or you would like to take a break, Pradeep, before we start?
Or you want to start? We can start, not a problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's start.
Let's start then.
So I think a lot of guests have come in as well. So
yeah,
keeping them waiting, I think we can start.
Can I check the time? Check the time. What time you? At what point I should flash the color of the cards? Pradeep.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be what 20 minutes, but I don't think I'll take 20 minutes. But
18 green.
10 minutes. Start one at 10 minutes green, and then 15 maybe, right?
Okay.
Hopefully I'll finish it faster. I like to keep it more for a discussion. You know, that will be I think it's more to do with trainers and coaches, and mostly coaches. So it's just about sharing a little bit about what I learned anyway.
All right. So speaker said he preferred to keep it around 15 to 20 minutes. So I have 5 to 10 minutes time for his introduction. Actually, you need more time because his introduction actually goes to 3 to 4 pages. Friends, today we have our member who is a pioneer and champion in the area of operations management, and also a pioneer and champion speaker in Toastmasters, a veteran Toastmaster starting his journey in 1999. He's currently a consultant, trainer, and coach with 3 decades of experience in the corporate world. A most sought after global trainer in operational excellence, and has coached more than 1,500 professionals, including CXOs, that is CEOs and COOs, managers and engineers to drive excellence in business in India, China, Japan, USA, Middle East, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Europe, etc. He's a certified Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt, one of the early professionals in that field, as I know, from SBTI, Texas, and trained by McKinsey Consultants as a lean practitioner at Rock Hill, USA, which is something very prestigious. A certified executive coach from CFL Chennai, By education, he's a mechanical engineer and a postgraduate, actually a master of technology in quality management from the prestigious BITS Pilani, India, and also an executive MBA from the Elite Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. He is currently the founder and CEO of Beyond Z Consulting LLP, mainly into consulting projects on lean manufacturing, Six Sigma, Kaizen, Drive, Kanban, material replenishment system, strategy deployment, customer satisfaction enhancement, footprint reduction, and establishing production systems, continuous improvement culture, and many more, friends. As I said, his Toastmasters journey started as early as 1999, and he has done an amazing work, a superhuman work in Toastmasters, in building clubs, particularly corporate clubs, and some of the first time in Asia, or even in Toastmasters International, he has done, like starting corporate clubs, starting clubs in educational institutions, and helping to form the first district, that is District 82, comprises of India and Sri Lanka. And there are many, many more, including he was the first runner-up of International TAFE Speech Contest in 2005 worldwide. He has also come second in International Speech Contest and third place in evaluation contest at district levels. Ladies and gentlemen, today he is going to talk about classical versus new age coaching. He's very passionate about, he's blending two generations. And it's all about, the topic is all about weighing the two options between two styles of coaching, that is classical and new age. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome our center stage speaker this afternoon, evening, distinguished Toastmaster, Pradeep Kumar.
Thank you, my friend and Toastmaster Manoj Nair, for this wonderful, gracious introduction. I think one of the reasons I'm still in Toastmasters for the last 22 years is because you don't get such wonderful introductions anywhere else in the world other than in Toastmasters. So thank you so much. And today, as the topic is very clear about the difference between what's traditional or classical approach to coaching versus what I call the new age. My message today is really started off as a mess, as a dilemma, as a confusion. And as one of my gurus, Dean Grazios, he says that you move your mess to message. And my message is really starting off from a mess. And the mess was really what is really today people talking about coaching. And I could just never figure this out. So suppose you go to YouTube, there would be people, some of the gurus there say that it's one of the best times in the history of mankind to become a coach. All you need is to have a Zoom account. You need to know your niche, and you need to have a structure, and you need to have a content. Everything else was fine, but I never understood about content. I wondered why, because the way I learned coaching, I went to a coaching school about 11 years back, one of the schools here called CFI in Chennai. I got certified. It was a very rigorous process. And I never knew, there was no sort of things about a content in coaching or recording stuff in coaching. So this was always confusing to me because that process was the classical approach. What I say was very different. It was very rigorous as well. Went through a lot of learning and training on psychology, positive psychology, and about empathy and advanced empathy. A lot of homework assignments were given. I had to do 2 coaching assignments as an intern and a viva, and then got certified, and I was very happy with the certification process. But something which I was confusing about was what's really happening today as an online coaching process. So that's what I told you is the classical approach is where you go to a company or you meet a senior executive, and then you figure out with the executive or with the HR, with the sponsor, what challenges the person faces. And then you work with this person, you do some assessments, you do a 360, you work with the person to work on one of the challenges. It could be, say, executive presence, or it could be about delegation, or it could be about finding out the right path in the person's career. Like one of the persons I coached was not very sure whether he has to move. He was in supply chain, whether he has to move up the ladder in supply chain or move to general management and become the managing director of the company. So that was what I learned. And then when I started hearing about these different methods and what we call the online coaching today, it was very confusing to me. And I attended a lot of programs. One such program I attended was one of the persons called Nikki, and she was also part of another program. But she is like one of the gurus today, getting all coaches to become better coaches or to scale up their coaching. And that's when I realized that she spoke about some pillars and content. And I said, no, what is content? Because I just have a structure. I don't have a content. That's when I realized that this is something different. And it took me many years to realize that. And that's what I'm going to share. What is this new age coaching? And today we're talking a lot about ChatGPT. And I also asked ChatGPT, hey, what do you think about this? And let me give you some response from ChatGPT. I said, yes, in the traditional coaching, the coach and the coachee typically work together to identify and address specific goals and challenges through one-on-one coaching sessions. The focus is on personalized coaching to help the coachee achieve their individual goals and objectives. In contrast, many new age coaching programs, especially those offered online, may offer a structured program with a set of fixed modules that are designed to provide training support and coaching to a group of clients. These modules may be delivered through a combination of group coaching sessions, online courses, and other resources. It goes on to say that both approaches to coaching can be effective depending on the needs and preferences of the coachee. Traditional coaching may be more suitable for individuals who require highly personalized coaching and support to achieve their specific goals. New age coaching programs may be better for those who are looking for a structured program with a set curriculum and a group coaching dynamic. So that is the difference. So you know that this is in the new age coaching, you actually are able to coach many people at one point together in a classroom setting, and you work with them to achieve a set of goals. Now, having said this, I think it may be still not clear to you if you have not already seen this or not done this. It may not be very clear to you on what is a new age coaching. So I went through one of these challenges by Nikki, and then I came up with something which is my specific model. I will share that model with you, and then you get an idea of what is called the new age coaching method. Okay. Okay, so after moving from my mess to the message, this is my message of my new age thing. So do I do both? Yes, I still do the classical approach, especially if it is senior executives, very senior people. They have this great challenge. I work with them on working with their challenges and to take them to the next level. But I think by far, quite a lot of people out there, it may not make sense, because also when people come to me, sometimes they ask me, hey, what's a curriculum? And I used to be quite confused. What do you mean by curriculum? What is this you're going to teach? What's going to happen in the first module? So I could never get that. And now I have got it. And this is my niche, which I'm going to work on. And I will show you what my model is. So I say my message is rewrite your story with operational leadership coaching. So my niche is operational leadership coaching. Okay. And that's what I'm going to go and be selling more these days. It's for managers, for functional heads, business owners, or senior executives. So what's it? The operational leaders, are you ready to achieve your goals and aspirations? Rewrite your story using operational leadership coaching, a powerful approach that will help you lead with clarity, confidence, and purpose. Unlock your full potential and take your leadership to new heights today. So this is my new model, and this is my new message on my niche and the new age coaching method, which I have come up with. So what's the program details? The program details are basically, it's a time frame is 3 months. So the people will be coached for a 3-month duration, all the coachees. And each week there will be training as well as group coaching, which goes on. So there'll be a 1-hour virtual training on Tuesdays. For now, I've just kept it as Tuesdays, a 1-hour virtual training. A 1-hour group coaching session on Wednesdays, and a 1-hour one-to-one coaching session with me and the coachee during the 3 stages. And I will explain what are the 3 stages and as needed. Okay, so the beauty of this model is that in my model that you have the group coaching, but you also have those one-on-one time with me. The coachee has the one-on time, and also the coachee will work on probably one goal as well, which happens typically in the traditional or the classical coaching approach. And so I came up with my pillars. What are the pillars? What are the modules? The first pillar is what I call as leadership checkup. I use psychometric based tests, 360-degree online assessment to get an idea, to help the coachee get some self-awareness. I call it leadership checkup. In fact, we also offer leadership checkup as a standalone intervention to people and organizations if they want to just do a checkup for, just like health checkup for their employees, leaders, managers. We help them with that. We call that a leadership checkup. That is my first pillar. The second pillar is belief busting areas, that is working on limiting beliefs. So we do also in the leadership checkup, we have some assessments on limiting beliefs, and maybe during our one-on-one discussions as well, people would come up with those limiting beliefs. So we see how I'll help the coachees on working on busting those limiting beliefs. Okay, limiting beliefs, and then how you work on incantations, just like affirmations. This is incantations. I picked this up from Tony Robbins. He says affirmation is that you sit in one place and say, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. He says that either you're running, you're jogging, and you say, all that I have, all that I need is within me. He says, put that, do it with full of energy. That's incantations. And also he speaks a lot about progress habit. That means don't procrastinate progress, don't look at perfection, but it should be a culture and a habit of progress. The third pillar is goal setting, and this goal setting is really about individuals. One goal the person will work on. In addition to learning these aspects, the person will still work on one goal. It could be anything. It could be delegation. It could be presentation, whatever. One thing which is most important for the coachee. Then, since it's operations and it's for people in operations, very important is the art and science of problem solving. There's a lot of training on the science of problem solving, but I also speak about the art of problem solving. I think that's more important. That's very important. The science is there, but the art is very important. And people in operations should understand data and how to work with data and data analytics, a little bit of statistics. The fifth pillar in my case is situational leadership, understanding different styles of leadership, but mostly what happens is people look at different styles of leadership, but forget about the followers. And in situational leadership, we speak about the followers and how you should work how you are based on the situation. Situation is really what's happening, as well as the level of your followers. Some people you can direct, some people you can delegate, some people you may have, some people are in between, either you're supporting or you're coaching. So that's very important about situational leadership. And the sixth pillar, of course, is communication. Be it in operations or in any other area, communication is good. Help them make better presentations. What are the 3 P's of speech? That is, how do you plan, prepare, and practice your speech? And how are you always ready for the elevator speech? You met the big boss or met somebody in the elevator, 2 minutes. How do you give a good speech? So this is what are my 6 pillars of the programs. And the 3 stages of coaching is each candidate will undergo 3 stages on the one-to-one coaching with me, which is the 3 stages. Is first of all is the exploration, what's going on, assessment, and understand what was the feedback from the self-assessment and from the 360-degree assessment, and what challenges make sense. That means it's about goal setting. So typically one would understand what is one's towering strengths, what person is doing good at, and what may be the areas one should work on. And the third one is then how does the coachee really make a strategy to achieve those goals? So these are the 3 levels of coaching. So this is so now you understand what is my new age coaching, and I've also explained to you what is the traditional coaching. So this is what I understood after a lot of research, talking to a lot of people, attending a lot of, listening to a lot of videos on YouTube, attending to a lot of these challenges. And I think I moved from my mess to my message, what I just presented to you. And since I thought this is the best forum, because this is a forum of trainers and coaches. So it's just not about presenting something, it's about also sharing and then hearing from all of you and discussing further to probably even fine tune this or even to share this with all of you. So with that, I hand back the stage to the Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Pradeep, and very good presentation. And you spoke from your experience. And though it was very short, we actually learned a lot. But since you said that it is open for our audience, a few questions are most welcome. I will take the privilege to ask the first question. I think what attracted me to one thing is busting the limiting beliefs. Busting the limiting belief, how you do actually for a person who maybe must have experienced some failure, or a deep-rooted problem of that individual or an organization. How you bust that, which actually had come true to them. Of course, it's a problem solving, I would say. That's the case.
Yeah, there could be many ways. I think it's a difficult thing actually. You go more from a counseling approach by asking questions and finding out why a person has such beliefs and try to clarify that. But I must say that I use this. In fact, I use the Tony Robbins approach to one of the candidates. Okay, and Tony Robbins. In fact, what he does is I use this board to draw this. He says that there's a table and the tables have legs. And for example, this person I was coaching was somebody who studied in the local language in Marathi. Actually, she's from Mumbai. She studied in local language. She's an engineer. She works for an IT company. And her biggest challenge was that when she meets somebody, it could be in any acquaintance, it could be stranger, or it could be a big boss, or it could be somebody in her apartment complex. Her biggest fear is that if they ask some questions, how could she correspond in English? Because she thinks that she may not get the right words. So I used this approach, Tony Robbins' approach, to say, hey, what do you think what are the legs which support that belief? Okay. And then we go chopping off those legs and say, hey, that doesn't make sense. And then saying, what are the legs? What are the legs which will support your new belief, your new story, that actually you can converse? And then she starts saying this, and she gets more legs for that, and says, you know what? Actually, you have more supporting legs to your new belief that you can converse easily with anybody in English. So that's a wonderful technique I learned from Tony Robbins, and I used it, and it was very effective. But I'm sure as coaches, we use mostly these counseling and asking questions and looking at, we say, what's the story and what's the story behind the story? Why certain people believe things? That could be some childhood experiences and things like that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so nice question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And floor is open to all of us. Please, very interesting topic. So I'm sure that there are more questions.
Yeah. And by the way, the idea of showing my structure was just to give you an idea of what is this, mine is one structure. There could be so many other structures which people come up with, because for me it was a learning that, hey,
Yes.
thing. I know Niranjan would already know this stuff, and he also does coaching and all that. So probably he must be having a structure himself to do this coaching, isn't it?
Yes. So next question, who is going to ask?
And ask questions, or you can make comments.
Miranda,
Yes.
Miranda is.
You're muted.
I'm not sure if this is already mentioned, because I had to step away from the video, even though I was listening a little bit. Did you mention how long was your program?
Yeah, 3 months.
So all those things that you laid out were for 3 months. So
3
you
months,
will
and then
12,
and there's a follow-up for
and
3
then
months.
there's 3 months for post coaching sessions.
But 3 months is the key, the main duration. Yeah.
Yeah, so your program is the 3-month program, whereby you will give like 12 training, a one-on-one, 12 every week, right? So 12,
Yeah.
12, virtual coaching. You mean like a recorded coaching, or what do you mean by that?
Everything is virtual. Everything's online.
Yeah, but you made a difference between virtual coaching, group coaching, and then one-on-one. Can you explain a little
Virtual
bit?
training, I said. It's training.
Ah.
Yeah.
So it's a training, and then group coaching is more like question and answer or reflection of what they learned.
Absolutely.
Okay, so every week you have a module, and then you
Yeah.
have the group coaching, reflecting
Yeah.
on that, and then you also have one-on-one. How many people can you carry with this? Is this for one person at a time?
When I start, I'm going to do with one person, but the idea is to get into a group, at least 10 people.
So like a mastermind then?
Yeah, mastermind, absolutely.
Yeah, so like 20. Yeah, you have a limited number of people if you do one-on-one, right? Because you cannot do. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that very much. I mean, I do something similar. So actually, I'm learning so much from your structuring, because mine kind of like evolved to that. I mean, I'm a life coach. So I coach CEOs, CFOs, and now some group are actually asking me to coach their other top executives, and they want me to do like a resource. So that really helped. Any other question? Yes, I would like to know a little bit more about what you actually meant by like belief busting. I mean, how do you do that, and what is the result of that? I mean, how are they changed when you work on the belief busting approach, for example?
Yeah. So one of the case I told was this lady who struggled with the thought, the idea that she could not converse anybody with anyone in English.
Mhm.
And so we went through this exercise, typically Tony Robbins style of he's got this table of the belief and he's put all the legs. What are the legs which support your belief, your limiting belief, and what would be your new belief that you can actually, that you can converse. And then we start putting those new legs there and saying, hey, you have solid legs to believe this, and those the older legs, the legs which you said earlier, on basically on the conversation, we say that's really weak, that's really weak. You said that, for example, if I remember right, I said something like, how many interviews have you attended in your life? And she said something like 12 or something like that, 12 interviews, all of them in English. Did at any point in time, do you struggle with speaking in those interviews? She said, no. I said, then your old belief is as your that leg is very weak. Has there been any time that you actually struggled with speaking to English? I said, yeah, at one point in time, my colleague left and they asked me to give a speech when he's leaving. I said, that's public speaking. That's everybody struggles. Even Toastmasters struggle with that. That's nothing to do with your belief thing. So that's weak. So we had to just cut off all those legs and say, actually, thing. And then she said there was something in the something to do with the environment, what will happen in 2023, and she participated in that and she made a presentation, and she said she did very well. So that really worked.
And so after you coach that, her beliefs is busted. I mean, and she had the confidence, or what else?
Yeah, she had the confidence. Absolutely, she had.
So she no longer had the belief that she couldn't speak English.
Yeah. So we do some tests about limiting beliefs, simple tests, and then talk to the people about why it is. Most people have. I think I myself was like had this thing that everything should be perfect. Yeah. I spoke about it last time that I'm moving away from progress versus perfection and saying that things cannot be perfect. You have to progress. So I think all of us have some level of limiting beliefs.
So because I work on limiting beliefs as well, and how do you deal with it? Okay, I don't want to go that far on this detail. So have you sold this program yet, or how many do you have had so far, or is this something that you're gonna actually launch?
This is going to launch, but this one I did this. What I explained to you today is I did this and it really worked well.
Yeah,
But
so you put
otherwise-
the good elements, the ones that work well, and then you just kind of like
Yeah, I
create-
actually I drew the table there and say, and this is exactly what Tony Robbins does.
All right.
Yeah, it
Well,
worked. It worked.
I like how you presented it. I think have you presented it to people yet, or how are you marketing it?
No, this is the first time. And when he called me, say that tomorrow is your thing, I said, oh God, then let me do something. And I thought anyway, this was on the thing and I had to do this. I said, let me take this opportunity to put this together. So I just did something, and this morning I fine-tuned it and I presented it. So this is my first presentation I'm talking about this year.
Excellent.
I thought best to talk at home.
Yeah. Okay. In that way, then you're looking for some inputs. I mean, if anybody else wants to say, because I mean, I could talk to Pradeep for some more time, but anyone else, that do you have any question? I'll let you.
Any inputs you want to give him, for suggestions for improvement to help him fine tune?
Yeah, very
Yes.
smart.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Pradeep. First of all, inviting me into this forum. So it is awesome, listening to all the Toastmasters here and the kind of brainstorming happening on each and every topic. So it's awesome. So thanks for that. So it is an interesting topic, bringing classical and new age coaching. Of course, I'm not a coach. I've been a coachee for quite some time in my corporate life and post that when I was going through a transition from a full-time employee to an entrepreneur, right? So yeah, of course, I'm still going through that. I'm more talking from a coachee standpoint. So bear with me. So definitely from the modular approach, what you spoke about, the new age coaching, which at time works, doesn't work. It's then you talked about the legacy coaching, right? So it's customized one-on-one. So when
Sure.
the new structure you put together, I'm just more giving a comment. I don't know whether it's going to be an input, but what I observed from what you presented, right? So yeah, so definitely bringing these two makes a lot of sense. Because when I went through this modular coaching for some time, at some stage I felt it is too irrelevant for me, right? Sometimes something which I would have done 15 years back. So down the line, I felt it is too, not even connecting with me. So then when we went into the personal coaching, having a very one-on-one connected discussion, then I able to open up, have this conversation. You spoke about the belief busting, right? So that's something I went through, when this conversation happened. So I'm sure the audience will get a lot of benefit from the structure which you have developed with be it the execs or the line managers. I see the benefits all around. So yeah, thanks for presenting that, and at least for me it's more of a learning. So yeah, all the best to you, Pradeep.
Hey, thanks, Kumar. Thanks for coming. Thanks for your inputs. Really appreciate
Welcome.
that.
Right.
Right. Everybody else has any
Yes.
comments?
It's almost
Can
time.
I?
Shanti.
Shanti, yeah, please go ahead.
First of all, thanks, Pradeep. As usual, I saw it in the last minute. I'm traveling. And I just saw, let me see if there's anything message, and I just found yours. Okay, I should join.
Great.
Okay. Yeah, and yes, I think it's a very well-structured program. I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people. And you said you use psychometric, analysis, assessments, basically, for the leadership coaching. So what sort of assessments do you do?
No, I do. I do very simple stuff. At the moment, I do. One is this, limiting beliefs. That's a very simple stuff. The other one is, my favorite is the 24 wire character strengths. It's because it's because my training is all on positive psychology in the in coaching. So it's about positive psychology. So it's all about strength. There are no weaknesses. And then look at what are the signature strengths, and help and probably talk to the coachee about working on the signature strengths.
That's interesting.
If need be, if there are already something on, emotional intelligence.
Then
or
like
any
a
things.
DASC test, DASC personality test is there.
Okay, DIC test. Okay.
Yeah,
Driver, influencer. something
yeah,
like that.
DISC is there.
Yeah,
But
test
I don't use, or FiroB. Sometimes I can use FiroB. I don't use many of these.
There is
Use very
one
basic stuff. Basic stuff.
Okay.
I think Shanti, you're trained in quite a lot of stuff, right?
That's true. Yeah, I conduct self-assessment using a methodology which I learned from Singapore. It basically works on mathematical calculation along with several psychometric tools integrated. So it does give a person what is their DISC profile, the emotional intelligence, what is the emotional EI quotient, and much more. Whether they are, what is the personality type, whether they are introvert, extrovert, and then based on that, I do coaching on helping them to understand the true potential and their true values. Yeah. Interesting.
Something linked to MBTI sort of thing, right?
Yes, that's right. Thanks for inviting me, and wish you all the very best. I'm sure you're going to support a lot of people through this.
Thanks, Shanti.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. So if you ask me, if you ask me, I have not gone through any classical coaching. I have created a program called Stand Up.
Okay.
Program name itself is Stand Up. When a person can stand on in my life, even though I cannot stand up on my feet, you can stand for anything in your life. So what I did is I used all my personal experiences and created a program. But how to rebound in your life, irrespective of the situation. So at the same time, what happens is it has to have some structure. So I brought in some structure like like the way you do. I do a 3 months program. I call level 1, and level 2 is a little bit more intense. This thing. So in level 1, I cover the topics like limiting belief, how to overcome fear, how to, and also DISC personality test, things like that. The whole idea is these, I use these as a guidelines, but more of experience sharing makes a lot of difference. When I share certain incidents in my life, I felt that has brought in very difference in their life. So I felt for me, niche is very important. See, for me, since I have a very unique personal story, rebounding back after a ill-fated incident, for me, it was a intentional choice to select that niche. So I think the niche what you select should match your personality and what you want to speak. So that is something which I found is very required in this new age coaching, because if I can't teach health coach, so health coach is something is completely.
Sorry to interrupt. Actually, this is I always wanted to ask you. This okay. This you said that your strength is that rebound from your experience, but it will go on for some time. Will there be a saturation after some time? People may look at more than your personal story, right? So you have to take. I believe if you have to take to the next level, you have to go beyond that, right?
Correct. So what I do is sometimes I use one-on-one coaching. I use group coaching.
Okay.
I do their self-assessment. I make them to go through self-assessment, identify their own areas of weakness and strengths, and come up with a plan and something like that. And I found one-to-one coaching has more effect, but reach will be less.
Yeah.
So if you really want to have more reach, you need to have a hybrid approach.
Correct.
So that is something which I'm yet to graduate to that level. I'm still not gone to that level.
Sure. Yeah.
I think we are almost time for it. We can close and then have a chit chat.
Yeah. Okay. So are we done? Yeah. Just very quickly, for Pradeep, I think what you're doing is a very good beginning. Sure. You start with that, and then you can use that to develop your online course. Sure. Using that example. You have a lot of examples, and you can just do all of that on video, and then that's how you can leverage. Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Very well done. Thank you. I really appreciate sharing something like that. This is what trainers and coaches is about. Thank you. Manoj?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Back over to you, Melinda, for closing the meeting.
Oh, straight to me. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. This had been another interesting, fruitful, and enriching meetings, which is what trainers and coaches meetings is all about. And today we learned so much from how to start a coaching program, and Pradeep really showed that, and I think it helps us who is not doing it yet, and also for everyone who's here. Thank you very much for coming, for visiting us. Thank you for visiting Toastmaster Niranjan, for helping us out and for giving us a wonderful evaluation, very helpful. So we're looking forward to that. And just very briefly, I'm going to ask the guests for some guest comments. Very briefly, half a minute. Okay, let's start with guest Velkumar. Can you just give us a very quick impression? How did you think about the meeting, or how do you feel about this? What was your experience?
It was great experience. I would say it's worth the time I spent here. So amazing speakers, amazing debate, great brainstorming sessions, good topics. Yeah, I really loved the breadth and width of the whole conversation here. So yeah, that's my summary. Thanks, Miranda, asking that.
Thank you, Kumar and Shanti, guest Shanti. So please share with us your impression, your comments.
Sure. Well, to be very honest with you, this is my first Toastmaster experience. And even though I've heard about it a lot and I always wanted to be part of it, and it was amazing. Unfortunately, I just saw it a little late, so I joined in between. But nonetheless, it was really a great experience. And thank you so much to all of you. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Really appreciating that. Well, come again or come to other Toastmasters. I know in Bangalore they have so many. And Hari Prasad. Thank you. Hari Prasad.
Yeah, good evening. Indeed, it was a well-structured program, like ARC counter to the grammarian to individual evaluation as well as general evaluation. It was very well structured and time followed the timeline, as well as center stage speech of the day. It was also a wonderful session. After long years, I am hearing from Pradeep Kumar Iti, DTM. So it was all in all, it was a wonderful session. Thanks, Pradeep, for inviting, as well as thank you all the Toastmasters. Thank you.
Thank you, Hari Prasad. Well, it sounds like you've been to many Toastmasters meetings, because you mentioned about grammarian ARC counter, which actually in our club we don't have as an advanced club. And but we do things a little bit differently. But still, we all learn what we do from Toastmasters. And lastly, from Niranjan, I would like to hear your perspective now as a Toastmaster, visiting Toastmaster. Any comments or?
I think this is like a special interest group because it has people of the same type of, like example, you take any other Toastmaster clubs, you will have people of different areas, but this is being specific to trainers and coaches. This is more specific, and if anyone wants to enhance and become more effective, I think getting involved in this kind of specific club will definitely help, especially for aspiring trainers and aspiring coaches.
Great, thank you. Well, I hope you come visit us again and maybe join us.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I will definitely explore.
Yes, come again. All right, with that, I would like to say thank you to all of you again, and Pradeep for whipping that up very quickly. And Shelina, Timer, Manoj, Toastmaster of the meeting. And with that, we close our meeting. I'd like to close the meeting, and our next meeting would be 2 weeks from today. So you're all invited, or Pradeep and Manoj.
27th of April.
27th of April. Okay. So have a lovely day or lovely evening for you guys. I mean, we're a bit later than you are.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay. See you everyone.
Thank you. Great session.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Shalina.
Thanks, Ranjan. Thank you all.
Thank you.